Timestamp. It is June 16th, 2025, about 9:20 p.m. I'm exhausted. I got up early. I went to bed probably about 3, got up at like 8, something like that, because I had an appointment with the lawyer, just going over some stuff as far as the guardianship and paperwork, and he seems, I was dealing with my original lawyer's boss, because I guess something happened with her, Ms. Gasly. But finalizing some stuff, the coordinated paperwork filed, and it hadn't been done, so there was kind of a, yeah. My girl came over. I made us breakfast. Some eggs and sausage. Just down home, simple but good. Trying to get stuff done around here, and one of the main reasons that we ran some errands. There were some things she needed to get and places I needed to check in at and stuff. Okay. So, Rogue Cable, I was trying to figure out what that was about. One of the reasons I'm tired is my 300-pound clumsy dance partner got here. Now, I wasn't sure because I hadn't told Pix that I was doing it. Kind of that begged forgiveness, but also I wanted to see the look on her face. I didn't need to beg forgiveness. She was kind of like, okay, hopefully you didn't spend too much. I'm like, I got a fantastic deal on it. She's like, okay. Well, I need to upgrade my computer. Is that going to be a problem? I'm like, nope, not going to be a problem. She was like, oh, okay, you can do this. She does a lot of PC gaming, so. And she's got a powerhouse of a computer, but we had it built by a genius, not sarcasm, a friend of ours, a few years ago, and it still can do just about anything, but we're also getting into that Windows 11 territory, and there are a couple of newer, I guess, beefier games that just came out that she's getting a little bit of, like, stagger and lag with, so she's like, there's a couple things in my computer I need to upgrade, or I can't play those. Okay. So, I'm beat. You'll understand why. I'm not even going to get up. I'm just going to turn the camera over there so you can see it. That is a Blasteroids. It's an Atari game. Came out in 1987. It's kind of second or third sequel game to Asteroids. Because I know it was Asteroids Deluxe, and I don't know if there was another one. This one's very cool, and I enjoy the game a great deal, and it's kind of nostalgic for me. In the early 90s, I had an apartment, and it was on kind of a not so great area of town, and they had a laundromat at the complex that the machines never worked. So there was a laundromat like right on Bush Boulevard, if you know Tampa. Still not in a great area, but they always had a couple of video games, and one of the video games they had there was Blasteroids. And I went to that laundromat for a couple of years. So I'm not necessarily like an expert or anything like that, but Blasteroids and I became friends, So it's kind of nostalgic. But yeah, that's my first acquisition. And that was hard to get in the house and get placed. Because it is a 300-pound clumsy dance partner. I don't know how else to describe it. trying to get, and we have like a stoop and a front porch and various other obstacles, which, plus, you've seen the condition of the house. It's hallways are precious. Pathways are coveted. So I had some very narrow places to try and squoze said game to get it in here. And honestly, I couldn't have done it without my girl. She was very helpful in maneuvering and helping to lift and whatnot. We're a good team. But yeah, so the trucker kind of dropped it off on the driveway. It was on a quarter pallet, metal banded, wrapped really, really scary well. And she just kind of stood there and stared at it like, I mean, you couldn't really tell what it was. It was just a black plastic wrapped monolith. And she just kind of stared at it, and she's like, "Is that what I think it is?" I'm like, "I don't know. What do you think it is?" And she's like, "I think it's probably a video game." I'm like, "It's what you think it is." She's like, "Okay." I'm like, "I got a really good deal. I didn't go crazy." And she's like, "Can I upgrade my PC?" "Yep." "Okay." "Okay." Yay, trust. Oh. I told her I'd let her know when they were going to drop off the other one, because she was so helpful with this one that, you know, having her here would be really, really useful. That did kind of make her go, and I couldn't resist messing with her. I'm like, I know, you've been dealing with me a long time, but you don't always know when I'm serious and when I'm joking. And this is one of those moments. And she just kept staring at me. I'm like, is he kidding? Is he not kidding? Kidding? Not kidding. Which is it? Could be either. She's like, you're gonna tell me the truth on this one, or am I gonna get a surprise, or should I be worried? I'm like, you should not be worried, because if I hypothetically did get a second machine, I also got an incredible deal on that one as well, because I wouldn't spend too much. And she was like, okay, that makes me think that you did get another machine. And I'm going to go on faith that you didn't spend a lot of money. And yes, I'll help you get it in the house and placed. She's like, I don't know where you're going to put it at this point, because we're getting pretty full in here. It's like, well, they hypothetically are talking about hypothetically loading it to a truck on Friday. So I, you know, using your imagination, we would assume that I have a few days, you know, to be able to do it. She was like, yeah, you got a second video game coming. I do. The shipping on it was about $600, and that is just slightly under what I paid for the machine. Which, I've been on eBay and whatnot. I've been, you know, they've got the watch feature where you can keep an eye on an item. There are several video games and pinballs that I've been watching on there, and there's a few pinballs that I want to get eventually. We've talked about this, you and I. That I'll probably just be getting right from the actual manufacturer, or the main distributor, because they're still in production. Like, I really want to get a Scooby-Doo pinball, which is still, the collector's edition is still in production by Spooky Pinball. It's the name of the company. They did a Halloween pinball that I'd love to get. That one I'd have to buy a used one. I don't think I can find one new still on that. It was a few years back. There's an Alien pinball that I want to get. Spooky Pinball but recently announced an Evil Dead pinball, which looks amazing. And it's going to depend on, I would need more than $1,000 to get those. The pinballs are a little bit more money than that. So that's kind of when my dad falls into darkness kind of thing. And that's some of the things that I'm going to get to cheer myself up a little bit. The best I can. But there's another pinball. They did a Labyrinth pinball, which looks like a lot of fun. There's some older pinballs that I really want to get too, but as far as the new ones that I can probably still get from the actual manufacturer, the main distributors, you know. There's that. But we would need to have this house incredibly cleaned out, and I need to have a lot more cash on hand than I have. I'm doing okay. We're all right. We can survive for quite some time, and we haven't even started doing garage sales or really upping our game on eBay. So we've still got hella inventory from the shop that we want to get up on eBay, but we've been busy with other components of real life. Just like I'm trudging through the swamp of this house in the Lanai and getting rid of trash, trying to sort my stuff, trying to sort their stuff, figure out what's viable, what just needs to go in that very shiny blue hopper outside, trying to make it all work. Because they did, again, gratitude first, but they did leave me quite a mess to deal with. I'm reminded of that every day, because all you have to do is keep your eyes open and look. Some of the Starbucks breakfast blend, medium, really good, really good. Still wouldn't pay $8 for a cup in the wild, but buying the bags for $7 each, I know somebody at Walmart had to get in trouble for that. Can't convince me that wasn't a pricing error. Big 14-ounce, 28-ounce bags or whatever, 2 for $14. I don't even know if that's cost. You know? Somebody said 40 and they thought they heard 14 and put it in the system that way. You can look it up. It's not 14 anymore for a 2-pack, but it was for about a month or two. And I bought a few bags because that seemed like a smart thing. They're at $40 now. So I got some pretty deep discounts there. And I'm okay with that. So I'm hoping to survive the economic freefall that I think our country is about to go through due to incredible mismanagement. But hey, what do I know? I've just managed things successfully before without having to go into bankruptcy 6 times. And I didn't even get $14 million from my pop. Yeah. That guy's a joke. If I had had that kind of head start, it wouldn't have been porn stars, and I wouldn't have ever needed to claim bankruptcy. But I could have made it grow without using debt as a springboard for collateral. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. using negative numbers to create positive numbers by basically cheating the system. That's what he knows how to do. Cheat the system. He's good at it, but it kind of makes him a scumbag. Because when you default on loans and whatnot, interest rates for other people tend to go up, so everybody else kind of foots the bill for him skating through and cheating. And he walks away with an extra bag of money. It's slick. It's mostly legal. But it's just dirty. And everybody else pays for it. Because everybody else pays for it. That's just how it is. It's like the tariffs. The country doesn't pay for it. The companies don't pay for it. They pass along all that non-savings to their consumers. That's you and me. It's you and me. We pick up the tab because they're not going to. So yeah, I got a Blasteroids. I'm very, very pleased. I played a couple of games so far. Maybe 20. We were getting ready to go out the door to do the errands, and she kept staring at it and staring at it. My girl, I love her. God, I love that girl. And I was like, "It's yours too. You want to try it out? You want to play a game?" And she kind of looked at me. She put her Monster High purse down, pressed the start button, and played a couple games. Yeah, that's my girl. Not bad. Not bad at all. But yeah, she got done and she's like, "Did I suck? Was I okay?" I'm like, "Actually, I was kind of wondering if you had played this before based on what you were doing." She's like, "Well, no, but I mean, I played Asteroids way back when." So I'm like, "Yeah, it's the grandson of Asteroids. It's got some extra tricks to it, and the graphics are cooler, and, you know." She's like, "Yeah, it's not a bad game. It's pretty good." So that made me feel good. I'm like, "Honey, don't worry. None of the arcade games I'm going to get are going to be lame." And she was like, "None of the arcade games you get are going to be..." She kind of cocked her head. I'm like, "I'm probably going to stop at around 30. She was like, "Okay." I'm like, "Baby, come on now." You know I was baiting you there. I mean, eventually, maybe. You know. Maybe. But that's 5, 6 years from now. Here's the brass tacks of it. My dad has dementia. Not a secret. We've been talking about this for a while now. He's entering final stage, or is already in final stage, or is pounding feverishly on the door of final stage, going with the 3-stage concept. Most victims, from start to finish, final stage is 2 to 3 years. It's 2 to 3 years. And that's in the books. It's not me making shit up. I mean, I could make shit up, but I don't have to, because, you know, the kind doctors of the world have already documented this. 2 to 3 years is pretty normal. And based on what I'm hearing and seeing, he's already actually in that 2 or 3 year period. So I don't have much time left with my dad. I don't. And what I have is dealing with a crabby old man with a broken brain who, in a month, might not remember me. That's the reality of it. He forgot one of his favorite TV shows. And to put this in context, we watched this during its original Black Sheep Squadron. Also, I think it was billed as Baba Black Sheep. Concerns Black Sheep Squadron, which was the misfit squadron of Corsair pilots stationed in the South Pacific during World War II. Colonel Pappy Bowington was a bit of an upstart, and he tended to get sent all the special pilots, and they became one of the most frightening squadrons in the South Pacific. The Japanese did not like fighting them. They would go out of their way to avoid conflict, but it didn't really work. Yeah. It's a small ocean. You know, when you've got a certain target in mind, you kind of have to cross paths with these guys. And they had a reputation. My dad loves the show. We watched it during its original run in the... Robert Conrad was the star. It was actually where John Larroquette got his start, too. He was one of the pilots. If you're familiar with Night Court and other projects, I personally love him in 10th Kingdom. You should check that out. It was a Hallmark mini-series kind of thing they did. Brilliantly funny. Kind of modern fantasy, fun stuff. Diane Wiest is amazing in that. If you know, you know. But we watched it during its original run in the late 70s, early 80s. I think it was a Stephen J. Cannell production, because all of the shows, I think, were during that time period. We watched it in syndication. He had already seen every episode, but first run, second run, reruns, he'd watch it again. And with the magic of Roku and all these things, he was able to watch it again. I forget what channel was running it, but they would run it on Friday nights or Saturday nights. This is 2 years ago when we were helping him. And the TV was basically beating my dad. So he rather boisterously requested that we get it set up to where he could watch his damn show. And Pix, bless her, figured out how to get it, found it, tuned it in, got it going on the TV, and the world was saved. But my dad was about to full-on grown-up tantrum about, I want to be able to watch my show, and these damn TVs, they're too complicated, and calmed him down, and Pix did her tech magic and found it, pulled it up, and said, okay, it's going to come on at this time to this time. That I can't change. So it's on this station, I've got it programmed in. If you're not sitting in this chair watching it, that's on you. But I've got it rigged for you. So sit your butt down, get your strawberry ice cream, and enjoy. And I don't want to hear any complaining, because, again, as long as you're in the chair at that time, you get to see it. And he made quite a big deal out of it. And this is probably 2-3 months ago. He was complaining about his driver's license being taken away, and I'm like, look, you aged out. I mean, that's the only way I can think to put it. If you're in your 60s, you'll get forcibly retired by the military too, unless there's a special reason why not. You can't tell me that at 84, anyone in their right mind would let Pappy Bowington hop in a Corsair and take it for a flight, take it for, a joy flight. And he was like, who's Pappy Bowington? It's like, okay, Dad, quit funning. Lieutenant Colonel Gregory Pappy Bowington, Black Sheep Squadron. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, Black Sheep Squadron, blah, blah, Black Sheep. It's one of your favorite TV shows of all time. That and Tour of Duty, and some of the older westerns, those are kind of his jam. And he's like, I'd never heard of that before. It's like, okay, Dad, this is one of your favorite TV shows. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. So, he'll forget my name. He'll forget who I am. Neat, right? The reality is, though, I probably only got And this is like best case scenario, the 3 years. They say 2 to 3 years. It's really, 0 to 3 years. 3 years is kind of as far as they've really ever clocked somebody going through the final stage. But in between now and 3 years, a lot goes wrong. A lot goes wrong. He's going to lose the ability to really walk. His motor functions are going to go. He's going to need a diaper and changing all the time. He may not be able to feed himself all that well. Speech will be complicated. And he's already starting to slur a little bit here and there. I'm hearing that. Which is pretty common. So, as if the past 2 years weren't fun enough, I get to watch, another 6 months to 2 years of his brain breaking in even more heartbreaking ways. My dad's going to become a toddler and then an infant. And that's just how that disease works. So, you can judge me if you want, but I'm picking out my prizes for the other side to try and make myself feel better. Puts my mind at ease, gives me something to push for, I guess, kind of a, when this happens, this is how I'm going to reward myself for going through what I went through. And I know he's going through it, I'm aware of that. But there are other victims of his disease along the way. So. But yeah, I have another video game. They're supposed to be putting it, I think, we're talking to the shipping company right now, because I had to arrange that. I've never had to arrange the shipping of a video game before. This one, the seller actually had it all set up. This one they were looking to sell it locally. Somebody, the gnome man backs up his truck, picks up the golf video game, puts it in the back of his truck and drives home. That was just for fun size. Hey baby. They were hoping to sell it locally. They weren't getting any bites at all. And they dropped the price really, really stupid drastic. And I contacted them because they sent me the offer, and I'm like, because I was watching it, and eBay, you can send offers to people that are watching it. I was watching it. What's my time like? Oh dear God. Okay. I took my glasses off, so I can't even read the timer. I'm blind. And I said, that is a really tempting offer, but they're up in, I think, Kentucky or Tennessee or something like that. I'm like, I'm in Florida. I can't pick that up. And the lady I was talking to said, I'm not opposed to working with a shipper if you set it up. Just make sure they know the special handshake. But once they have it, I'm not liable for anything. I was like, not a problem, I understand that. At that point, I blame the shipping company if something goes wrong. Chain of custody. She was like, yeah, if you're willing to set that up, buy it. Please, take it off our hands. So, you stuck around to probably the end of the video. How many times have you heard that on YouTube? So, I'm hoping everything goes through. But I spent $750 on a Zybots machine. I'm going to have 2 Atari titles. What are the odds of that? But that one, I got a sentimental tie to that one. That's a fun game too. And the neat thing about this game and the other game, this Blasteroids, you can... When I said this, my wife gave me an interesting look, and I was like, I know it sounds dirty, right? But you can basically mount the two ships together. This game isn't competitive if you're doing two-player. It's actually cooperative. And Zybots is kind of a cooperative two-player game too, which I think is really cool, because I'm not looking to compete with my family. I want to work with my family. I love my family. You know, I love cooperative games that actually work as cooperative games. So yeah, I've got, as long as everything goes smoothly, I've got a Zybots on the way, which is cool. But yeah, both Atari titles. PG. I still want to get a Gauntlet. And my favorite, in general, video game, other than Gauntlet, which is just a like guilty pleasure that I could pound quarters into all day long and never get bored with it. It's, you know, the closest thing to a very, very basic D&D video game. It's just a beautiful thing, and you can play 4-player, which is great. And boy, did we back in high school and college. I don't know, I probably could have bought 3 Gauntlet machines with the amount of quarters I put into those things. There are Gauntlet machines out there for like 2, 3, 4,000. Give me a minute. But my big main jam, I want to say it's by Bally Midway, Gorf. Gorf was my game back in the day. A very, I would call it an unusual Space Invaders style game. Love Gorf. That was kind of my jam. I mean, there were a lot of games I played back in the day. Burger Time. There's actually a couple of Popeye machines out there that I've seen. I used to play Popeye at Chuck E. Cheese before it became nothing but the ticket games. But yeah, I mean, there's 30 or 40 video games that I played back in the day, but just not getting 30 or 40 games today or next week, to be clear. Having Hamlet flashbacks. Nor man either, though. Why did you look so when I said? But yeah, I am going to be getting probably, we will say, a few games while I'm here. 3 or more. But yeah, I got the Zybots. And I'd love to get a Gauntlet. That would appease me for a moment. Here's the thing, there's another vendor out there that has a Satan's Hollow, and I think it's a 1942. There was a series of games, it's the 1940 series. There was a 1940, 41, 42, and you're basically an Allied warplane doing bombing and fighter raids. All the games in that series look very similar, but they have some different bells and whistles to them. Instead of a shield as a defense, you have like a roll where you press the button, and instead of like, because a lot of games you have like a shield, you know, that'll appear on your ship. The roll, you know, the plane will, you know, and things firing at it will miss. But the 1940 series is pretty cool, and there's a vendor that has a Satan's Hollow, and I think it's a 1942. And he says in the listing that they're both multicades, which just means they've like added a board that allows you to play the main game and also another 6 games or 10 games or 100 games or 1,000 games. I don't know deets. I haven't actually dug on that. But if things go well with our garage sales and whatnot, I may inquire, because those are kind of cheap too. He doesn't, in my opinion, the price on those isn't as high as it could be. But gotta be cool. I can't. Do I have money to work with? Yes, I do. Because, again, we planned. We knew this was coming. Should I spend all of it on video games? No, I should not. Could I? Well, technically, yes, I could. but it would be incredibly foolish. So, but I did snatch up 2 games that became incredibly low-hanging fruit price-wise. So, I think they're trying to put it on a truck Friday. Today's Monday, so it's still going to be probably a week before it's, before my paws actually touch it, but that's okay. It's okay. It's all good. That'll give me some time to make room. Because tomorrow we're supposed to be going to a neighbor near George Station, because they have some leftover fence pieces after Milton. They got their fence replaced, but they still had a couple pieces that were apparently still quite good. So we're going to be retrieving those fence pieces to replace some of the ones that Milton threw across the yard for us, because it broke the posts. I mean, it was windy. So we're supposed to be doing that. Pix wants me there because I'm a big, strong man. So we're going to be doing that. And then Wednesday, Scrappy has his shots. So we got to take Scrappy to the vet on Wednesday. He's getting his big boy shots. His parvo is, you're supposed to get it at 6 months. He's 9 or 10 months now. But with all of the other things in the beginning of this year that somehow occupied our time, it's actually an appointment that I had set on 2 other occasions and had to cancel because shenanigans with my folks. So he'll finally be able to get his big boy shots. And he'll be a real puppy with his I'm a big dog now shots. Because he already had the first round, but you're supposed to get the second round. Anyway. I have yammered long enough. Yes, yammer, it's a word. Make it a great day.